Good morning, everyone. Well, welcome to today's MMR. Can we hear me, please? If you can hear me, can we please just type yes? My name is Jeremiah. I'll be taking us on MMR today. Be together for the next few minutes. Can we please hear me loud and clear? All right, all right, all right. So we can hear me then. Okay, so we'll be looking at the chart today to see possible places where we can position and make good money from the market. Right, yes, good morning, everyone. All right, so let's get into it. So we'll first be going to our fundamentals to look at what is happening fundamentally. And from there, we will now proceed onto the chart to position for trades. So let's first go to forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com today, Thursday, 20th November 2025. We're only focused on major news, highly impact news. For today, we don't have any news, high impact news for the London section, which we are in right now. It's only from the New York section we have news for USD all three, USD all three. Since they just what's it called? They just opened their economy. So all of this news that we have for today, ideally, is supposed to be our NFP, which is supposed to be first Friday of the month, but it happens to cause the economy was shut down for a while, and then today now they will be releasing the NFP ever since the shutdown, right? So this news we see for 2:30, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. These three together is what is called NFP, non-farm period. So that will be released today. So we expect very good volatility during the New York section. Presently now we are in the London section. So let's go back to the charts and look at what is happening. So I'll start from the currency and then I'll move to the market. So I'm currently on the chart of Euro USD. Euro USD. I'm analyzing both as a swing trader, a day trader, a scalper, whatever it is. Now, essentially, what we are looking for is to where to enter a buy or a sell. And before you get to the market, you must have a clear template of what you are looking at for before you enter those trades, either you buy or you sell, however it is. It is not when you get to the market that you will now begin to say, okay, can I buy here? Can I buy? No, there must be something you are following. It's like when you want to go to the local market, you must have a list of things you intend to buy. You can't get to the market and begin to make decisions. High tendency, you might buy in error. You understand? So the same approach too is also done to the market. There must be a clear set of things I expect to see that will trigger me to buy, to enter a buy or a sell. And if you're familiar with my sections, you understand that these are the simple rules that I follow, right? So let's begin to get into it. For me, anytime I intend to sell, it's very easy. The easiest to do is to follow the trend. Once you can identify the trend, then you will know what trade you want to take. So it's always wise to buy in an uptrend and sell in a downtrend. Simple. It's as simple as that. Buy in an uptrend, sell in a downtrend. If we look at this is the chart of Euro USD on the daily time frame, we can see a lower low, a lower high, another lower low, another lower high, say another lower low, then another lower high, pointing to the trend being a downtrend. So this trend is a downtrend without um, without looking at it complex. Currently, it's in a current downtrend. Euro USD time frame is in a current downtrend. So how do I now position from here and scale down to the much lower time frame position for my trade? So if I scale down to the lower time frame, I'm going to see I'll only be looking at very small portion of the market. So you see all of these moves that I'm seeing on the daily time frame. By the time I scale down to the 1 hour time frame, for an example, I'm going to be seeing a very clear downtrend. Right now, in a downtrend, you want to sell. More often than not, you want to sell. Now, how do you now enter the sell in the downtrend? There are three ways to enter the sell in the downtrend. Whichever one is most comfortable for you is as long as it's sell and it's a downtrend. So let me say, let me quickly illustrate that to us. If this is the downtrend, and this is the lower high that you've seen, this is another lower low. So at this stage, there are three ways to enter the downtrend. Whichever one is most convenient for you is what you need. First, you can decide to sell once you can see a clear pullback. What is called a pullback or a retracement. And you feel that so that yeah, so you can decide to sell once there is a pullback, or you can decide to sell once price return to the supply area, previous lower high, or you can intend to sell at the continuation of the downtrend, meaning here. So once you just see it start to do the form of the pullback, illustrated just now. Once you see something as little as this, decide to sell. So if you want to sell from here, this can be either an instant execution or a sell limit, this area here, and also here. Then below here can just be the sell stop. This theory that I just painted for us here now, I'm going to apply it on the chart of Euro USD. There are three places we can sell from. Said whichever one is very convenient for you if you follow. But you must choose this day. Judging by that, this is the last lower high that that lower low. So this is the supply area. This is one area I decide to sell from. Other areas I can also decide to sell from. If I see pull back up to this level, also decide to sell from there. Or currently, I can also decide to use a sell stop. Any of these three areas, I'm going to So if my account is looking very good, I can decide to take alternative, whereby putting the sell limit here, sell limit here, and sell stop here. Because I can see a sell from the higher time frame, so I'm only targeting sell. Continuation of the sell, all of the TPs I'll be targeting here, looking for TP. Each of them, my stop loss will be above. So that is how I'll be positioning for the downtrend. I'm only positioning for the sell. Any of these three, whichever one you are comfortable with, whichever one you are comfortable with, trade in line with your strengths and not your weakness. Whichever one you are comfortable with, right? I think that is very, very clear. So I'm going to move on to the next pair, which is very similar to that of the Euro USD, and that is British Pounds USD. There's a very high tendency we're going to see almost the same move on it as well. So let's go walk our way up to the higher time frame. See, so higher time frame, clear downtrend. It's a no-brainer. It's a clear downtrend. We can see a very smooth downtrend. See, so price has gone to create another lower low, which is giving us now a lower high. Then we expect this price to now go back and create another lower low to continue on that, what is it called, downtrend. This is where what is called the change character had happened, because this was the last higher low that created this higher high, and then price has broken, so we should continue to see a downtrend. So this is swing trade, higher time frame, we'll be selling. Swing trade, higher time frame, we'll sell, we put a stop above here, and then target as low as possible. Now, what about day traders or scalpers? Anybody wants to make from the market? how would they also position on this chart? So remember, it is in alignment. When you trade in line with the major higher time frame move, it makes it very easy. Please don't get me wrong. It's also possible to trade against the higher time frame and still make money. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. But I'm saying that it's way easier for you to trade in line with the higher time frame. It makes it very, very um, easy trade to take. So what I'm saying, for example, is that if our D1 is in a downtrend, if our D1 is in a downtrend, see, and then you move to your H1, for example, if your H1 also in a downtrend, just an example, and then you now move to, let's say you want to trade on the 15 minutes, you then move to your M15, for example, and then on M15, you are now seeing an uptrend. Just trying to paint a scenario for us. In M15, I now see a downtrend, an uptrend rather. You see this uptrend you are seeing on M15 is simply the pullback of this H1 and D1. We get it now. So it will be a lot easier for us, especially those of us who are not still very much experienced. We're still on our way to getting better experience. It will just be a lot easier if we can just allow this um, 15 minutes uptrend to switch back to a downtrend. Once that 15 minutes uptrend switches back to a downtrend, we're good to go. That way we can easily, so we just need to wait for this one to just switch to a downtrend so that it will align with all of this higher time frame, and then it's easy. So if I'm going to practicalize this on this chart currently, I would say on the daily time frame on British pounds USD, you can see a clear downtrend. We move straight to the H1. You can also see a clear downtrend. Now, if I move to the 15 minutes, for example, I might be seeing what looks like an uptrend. So I can actually scalp this uptrend. But it will be more easier if I just allow this 15 minutes to also align with the higher time frame downtrend so as to trade in line with the trend. So I can pick my entry from any time frame. So remember those things I said about the Euro USD. Anytime you want to enter a downtrend, these are the key most preferred ways, whichever one you are comfortable with. Some traders will even put all of the positions. They will put some risk on this sell stop, another risk on this sell limit, and a much higher risk on this sell limit. It's the same thing too with the euro, so with the GBP USD. See, first entry, if I'm someone who thinks about supply and demand, this would be F minus the preferred entry for a sell because the higher time frame is selling. So I also want to sell on the lower time frame or not. Then for my second area where I would love to sell from, I love to sell from here. And then lastly, you can also look at just putting another sell position here. Right. So any of these three. So the one below would then be our sell stop. The one in the middle would be our sell limit. The one would be at the top is also a sell limit. Or I can just wait for price to get there by itself and then I enter my instant trade. Right. So in essence, my trade, my sell is in line with the higher time frame because overall, the only time this on this H1 time frame that I will know that this trend has changed is if price goes above this level. See, if price goes above this level. So what I mean is that maybe we now see that price goes like this. Yes, there's a high tendency we might be seeing a change of character, but if that is not happening, I'm only trading what I see. Don't trade what I think. Trade what you see, not what you think. Right? So that's how we're approaching the British pounds USD. So I'm going to move a little bit faster because since I've done two pairs with USD, it will be easy to easily calculate for the rest. So this is USD CHF, USD CHF higher time frame. Though it is in the box, we're seeing this consolidation. The market is moving in this consolidation for a while now, since like June 12th or so, has been moving inside of this consolidation. Now, if I move to the lower time frame, I'm going to see a clear uptrend. Clear uptrend. Very simple thing to identify. I'm seeing a clear uptrend now. So this uptrend now, how do I enter an uptrend? So all of these things I painted for this downtrend, you can as well do the same for the uptrends. I'll give us the template. Anytime we see an uptrend like this, a higher high, another higher low, and price is giving us a new higher high. There are three ways that you can enter this uptrend to make it very easy. What we just need to do is to identify that it is an uptrend. Once we have identified that it is an uptrend, there are three ways we can decide to enter the uptrend. So the first is that I can decide to wait for this demand level, for price to return back to this demand level before I enter the buy. I can also decide for price to get to the discount area, which is set to move before I enter a buy. And once I can see that it has started a form of pullback, I can also decide to simply put a buy stop above here. I just decide to put a buy stop above here. Why I can decide to do any of these three is because should in case this price does not get to should in case this price does not get to the 50% area where I intend to buy from. So let's say this market does not get back to this place before it starts to go up. On its way up, it will still pick me for buy here. And if it gets here and it starts to go lower, because this is the level where it is not supposed to go below, meaning the last higher low that created higher high. That is actually the area price is not supposed to go below. If price is not going below that area, then I'm good to go. So any of this can trigger me and give me good profit. So sometimes I like to always um, allocate my risk properly. I will allocate a higher risk to this, a medium risk to this, and then a normal risk to this buy stop, so that I would be accountable for my entries. All right. So USD CHF uptrend, you just need to position for a buy. Whichever one is very convenient and comfortable for us, you can decide to follow. All right. So SZD USD, same thing, same thing. But on SZD USD, I need to quickly show something very, very, very important. Moving into the future, SZD USD, clear downtrend, no brainer, but it is moving very close to this very important area. Now, there's a rule that says that once price is getting to a second touch of a support, it's a tendency to bounce off from there. So I'm very sure that around this area there will be so many buy orders waiting around this area, not necessarily to change the direction, but just for price to bounce off here more often. So there will be more buy, what's it called, pending orders around here. So before that happens, we're seeing a clear downtrend on SZD USD. This is the daily time frame, clear downtrend. So no matter the time frame I'm going to, I really want to sell, then I can choose to sell from any of those three setups that I gave to us. Either I'm selling from this level, decide to sell from this level, yeah, or decide to sell from this good level, premium area, buy in the discount to sell in the premium. Premium will be 50% of the move. Or I can also decide to sell from the supply area. So I can also decide to sell from the supply area. Those are the three ways your position to trade this NZD-USD. I believe we can still hear me. Are we still together? Can we hear me, please? Hello, can anyone still hear me? Am I still very audible? Okay. Thank you. Okay. So we can still hear me. We're still very much on point. All right. So all of these things I'm saying, they are what would easily get us good entry so that it won't be too long before we are in profit, right? So trading is not about how fast you press your buy, it's about how well you are positioned for your buy or yourself. Position is more superior than speed. Speed is not an advantage in trading. No matter how fast you press the buy, if you're not entering at the right time, might be a problem. So positioning is more superior than speed trading. So you position properly for your entries, as the entries are the only things that we can control. The only two things we can control in trading is how we enter and where we want to exit. We don't control how the market moves, control how we enter a trade and where we want to exit from the trade, both profit and loss, so that you can manage your account properly. Get it? So people with a larger account, they can afford to do so many things. The more the merrier. So look at these three entries I'm pointing out now on NZD-US. Anyone with a very manageable account, it might not be wise for you to do all of that. You might just want to pick one or two. But those of us with a fatter account, we can decide to position for all of them, right? Yes. So you can go ahead and set your pending orders, this key position. You're good to go. All right. So that's it on NZD USD card, similar to what we are seeing on the USD CHF. Very clear uptrend, no brainer, daily time frames. I like it when the market aligns. It makes it easier. There's really no too much thinking. Is this an uptrend? Anytime you open a chart and you see yourself doubting the direction of the market, it's a sign you should just go to another chart. Because if you're going to make money from it, it will come to you very easy. The market has to come to you very easy. So daily time frame USD card is an uptrend. All of them is pointing to the strength in the dollar as we speak. That's just what it's pointing to. This in the London section that we are in right now. So because it's buying, where do I want to position for my buy? Simple. So this area now, this is another thing that we also need to note. So this area was acting as a form of a resistance before, and now price is in an uptrend, and price is most likely going to break it. Simple. Once it breaks, all I need to wait for is a retest. It's clear. That's very clear. And then I can then continue on my journey to buy. See it? That's one module. Another module is that I can decide, depends on how well I understand myself and understand risk, and then I also understand trading. See it? So I can decide to buy from here and then just use my risk here and take profit. So you will see that I use the word understand. I didn't say how much you know trading. So many people are at the level of knowledge. Knowledge is just the beginning. There's knowledge, there's understanding, and then there's wisdom. So when you know what I'm doing now is I'm giving you knowledge. The next stage is understanding. When you will now translate to, is this good for me or not? Then the wisdom part is when you now apply what you see that is good for your account. See it now. So you need to transcend these levels. So once you understand the risk of trade, you can go ahead and position properly your entry. So for USD card, any of those three will do me well. I can decide to use buy stop here, stop loss here, take profit above. But if I'm more conservative, I can decide to wait for the break and the pullback if it happens, so that I can then decide to continue on the buy. Get it? Yeah. So that's how we'll be approaching the USD card, the USD JPY is a straight buy. That's not a brainer. It's a no-brainer. Get it? Higher time frame buy, lower time frame buy. So we just need to be careful with this one. So because that has gone up for a while, it's always wise to wait for a pullback. Yeah, I believe that pullbacks is what makes our trades to be in profit on time and also riskless. You want to risk less and you want to have good entries, just cultivate the habit of putting pullbacks. What I mean is, if you're saying an uptrend, this form, price goes up as well. Now you can see that this is a clear uptrend without no doubts in your mind. This is an uptrend. And then we now go ahead and decide to buy from here, knowing fully well that an uptrend needs pullback for it to continue. So after buying, price now starts to go down. Then I'm seeing the negative, I'm disturbed, everything is getting scattered, I'm panicking and all that. No, so it's always wise when you see a clear uptrend, if you intend to buy the uptrend and it's not yet given a pullback, just simply wait for the pullback, then we can then decide. So once I wait for the pullback, if it happens, it is going for the buy and then continue on the trend. If that does not happen, I just need to go down for a while, a little bit, and then I can use my buys. Simple. So all of these things that the market has been doing, every time it did a form of pullback, either small or big, if I had applied a buy stop above it, I would make money every point in time. So that's also what it's doing right now. I want to apply a buy stop to just be above here. Simple. That can mean a lot for those of us who are day traders. You see, day trader, look at USD JPY 15 minutes time frame. This is a pullback. I don't need to know where the pullback will end. I just need to use my buy stop above, stop loss down. So anytime it ends, this pullback that is doing to easily pick me for a buy and continue higher, right? I believe we got that. We got that clearly. Okay, so I'm done with the USD JPY. So whatever it is we are doing for the USD JPY, we can also do for the Euro JPY. Almost all the JPY pairs do the same for almost all of them. See, this is the Euro JPY. We can do that. This is the GBP JPY. We can do the same for all of them. So at the end, I will now show something about the JPY. So all of these JPYs, anything JPY, is more often than not being controlled more by the JPY index. So if all of them is in an uptrend, it's a sign that the JPY index is weak. So let's see, where is the nearest? Is there any nearest resistance that we should be concerned about on any of them that can, stop the trend? I can't see any here. So we are good to go. We are good to go. Those of us who are swing traders, you want to buy properly on this fantastic uptrend going on GBP JPY. You have three choices. Buy at discount area, choice number one, or you can decide to buy at the previous demand level, choice number two, or you can simply decide to apply your buy stop above here. I'll get to the continuation. Choice number three, whichever one you're comfortable with and you're okay with, you can use and you will be fine. And you start to make good money from the market. All right. Okay. So let's go on to some more pairs before I now look at my chat box to look at any personal request. So GBP card. Okay, let's do GBP card now. Chart of GBP card. Let's start from the higher time frame. This is very interesting. So GBP card higher time frame uptrend, moving inside of a consolidation that's been consolidating for a while. I can see this supposed support here, and then another one here. So this is clearly consolidation happening inside and already existing. So how do I position for this? It is very easy. It's very easy to trade in a consolidation, especially a consolidation that is wide. So let me use this opportunity to quickly teach us how to trade any type of consolidation that you see. They're one of the easiest trades you can take, depending on how much you understand the market. So if you see a consolidation, anytime the market is consolidating and the consolidation is wide like this, how we approach it is different from a consolidation that is close. The consolidation is close. See, so I like to call this close consolidation, and then this one wide consolidation. So my approach to trade a close consolidation is simply using a buy stop above it. It's I like to prefer to approach it once I see that the market is consolidating. The consolidation is very close. So use the buy stop here, and then at the same time use sell stop here. The market condition you see determines the approach you will use. You can't force any form of approach on the market. So it depends on how much we understand these things. I'm sure these things are taught most times in our both physical and online classes. And utilize any of this medium, both physical and online classes, get clarity on this thing. The close range consolidation, data, teaching it. For a wide range consolidation like this, it's always better to approach it like this. So right, are we back? Okay, we're back. Yes, now. Can you please hear me? Okay, can we hear me now? Okay, so we can hear me. All right. So let's go on. Let's go on. So I was talking about the wide range consolidation, and then I will tell us which one ad GDP ad is going through. At a wide range consolidation, you see that we want to use standby around this level, by any of it. Get that upper, this upper, considering either a sell or a sell limit, or a sell limit. Sell, sell. So this is a very good way to approach any form of consolidation. So now let's zoom in and check which one is this one. Card on the data. This is a clear example of wide range consolidation. This is a clear example. So
So this is the first level of support. So if I scale down to much lower time frame, now you see this candle that is forming today is very, very important. If you notice this stage where this price first change direction, where this price first change direction from here, where this price first change direction from here, see two colors of candle. We have to put it. See, you can see the red and the green. So that is also what we expect to see down here. Get on. So that's why I said that this candle is formed. If it closes bullish, it's now possible consolidation or we move back. This consolidation is happening inside that already exists. So let's go down to that time frame. So see this thing that this chart is doing currently. So because at support level, we want to sell in a support level. So those of us who are waiting for change of character, you see this serving us those who are, that is the area that price is not good. Once price goes above that area, that's silent. So this is started to see this lower high properly. Yeah, this lower high is this here. This is where the market has to go above because go back and get it. That's how to approach the GDP part. The chart euro card. So really looking at requests to see if it aligns with what I intend to analyze alt. Okay, so euro GBP seeing a clear uptrend as well. Euro GBP seeing a very good clear uptrend. So what is asset question? That is questions. So this is a clear uptrend. Why? Because this is higher high, this is higher low, this is higher low, this is tweeted is higher high. Then we now have a new higher low. Higher low. So we expect this higher low to do its job, giving us higher high. So how do you position for your buys? How do you position for your also I can also see that remember that anytime price is in an uptrend and it's doing a pullback might appear as a downtrend. So how to know that that downtrend has switched, that pullback has ended, and the original uptrend has started is that the lower high of that pullback has been taken out. So what I mean is that this whole uptrend, this uptrend from price move from here, move down, this place. Clearly see the price is actually the pullback of that downtrend was appearing as a downtrend. The pullback of the uptrend was appearing as a downtrend. Right. Now, the lower high of the pullback, you see, you see that it was when price went above it. This thing is sold. This was pullback for the uptrend would appear as a downtrend. or maybe price went above the lower high. What I'm trying to say is that staging this could bend down to the lower high price. So expect the market from here to do what? So stronger notes. This so expect this to go new higher. Can you please hear me? My audio still clear? Hello, are we together? So some of us, maybe it's our network. Yes. So let me section. This page. So I just finished this analysis for Euro GBP. That's what I just did now. Just finished the analysis for Euro GBP. The audio is cutting, not so clear to link it to network. So I'll switch now to okay. So what about now? We still hear me? My audible enough now? Not cutting. Okay. All right. So lastly, before I look at the chat box to take the questions. So the Euro GBP, like I said, it's still until proven otherwise, because what we use in knowing that an option has downtrend, often the resistance is that price must take on higher. Right? So if that's clearly the route to follow, means Euro GBP still just experiencing a pullback or a retracement. Pullback or retracement. Right. So lastly, before the chat box, questions, I have done Euro card, we get us card, use the same knowledge too for Euro card. It's a good winner, tend to move singly, like I said, so see clear uptrend, it's very strong support area. Back to H1, you want to buy, you want to be more certain about your buy, just look at what I'm about to do now, the last lower high or the trend, see above it, pull back, so the GBP AUD, very similar, also same for so higher time frame, this still a trend. Why? Because this is the previous higher low. All of this can still be seen as internal structure to facilitate that down. So the pullback of the higher time frame can still be triggered on lower time frame. So if on each one seeing a clear downtrend, how do I sell? Just need to sell. This is either a supply area. Right? So that's how I'm approaching any of these things. So let me quickly look at questions I'll wrap up in the next 5 minutes, saying this is coming down to some the instruments you're talking about. So internet. And Dr. said, I noticed you hardly use any indicator analysis. You don't have much trust. No, that's not the case. So thing with indicators is that they're all internet. So when you trade to points, you easily know what the indicator points into because they are all just mathematical. There's nothing wrong with them. Fantastic tool to use. So if I will put any form of indicator on this chart, to an extent, I know what people are telling me. So that's why when I analyze, because if I put my moving average, it should be in line with what I'm saying. Everyone makes it easier for you. Just find the chart purely line with price action. So see, example, this one had see, start used to use 21. Ready for me to buy if I'm following the moving average price to come back to the moving average. So more of the time, where this is still you trade to tell what software is. They are all based. Okay. Okay. I'll try to make it a little bit better again.
When next we'll be meeting again, okay, so that my audio will be a little bit louder. Yeah, it's as if I'm shouting here. Right. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay, so let us take um into cognizance all that we have said, especially those entries, because many of them might not um, be available for us to pick trades on now, but later in the day or later in the week, we can also make money from all of these things that we have stated out. So I understand that this section is also available on the YouTube channel. You can go back there and recap for the past study and understanding so as to get better clarity. So as to get better clarity. Right. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I appreciate it. I'm going to see us soon again. Thank you.